The end of the year is a great time to take a look back and assess your practice, whether it be finances or looking at the different contracts you have and how you can renegotiate them. In today's tip of the week, we're going to talk about year-end reports.
Are going to be located in Medisoft under the Reports menu and under Medisoft Report. Some of them are going to be here at the top of your reports list. This is where Medisoft has listed all of the most common used reports, like your day-to-day reports, your day sheets. So these are all the most popular reports. But there's an additional over 200 reports, well, over 300 total. All of the reports in Medisoft are here at the very bottom under your Medisoft Reports module, including the ones listed at the top here. So I'm just going to go here to show all of those to you today. So this is the Medisoft Reports module. And you can search for any report here in the Find Reports box by using any keyword. So I'm just going to go down this list of reports on the list to show you each one. So the practice analysis is the first one that I had on that list. And I like to use the one with the practice totals. So also another shortcut and another note is that you can add reports to your favorites here. So all you have to do is once you locate the report that you like, you just right click on the title and click Add to Favorites. And it'll give you a little notice that it was added to your favorites. So the next time you come into this reports module, instead of searching for that report, you can actually just, let me check that out. You can hit your favorites button here in the top, and it's going to give you a list of all your favorite reports. You don't have to search for those. And you can run them right from this screen. So if I go down and find my practice analysis with practice totals, I'm just going to highlight it. And then in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to click Preview Report. So we recommend this report for a couple of different reasons. First of all, this is one of the most popular reports. If you're not using it, I would highly suggest it. It gives you a great overview of all of the procedure codes. And it's a very short report. It's only, in this case, it's 3 pages. Sometimes it's 2 pages, depending on what date range you plug in there. But this report gives you a list of all of the transaction codes. It's going to include procedure codes, payment codes, adjustment codes, any code you're using basically within your Medisoft. It's not diagnosis codes though, just your transaction codes. And it's going to give you the total amount the total dollar amount for those codes that's been used. So it's going to take whatever pricing you have in there and give you the total unit and multiply that to give you the grand total. It's going to give you the average charge for that code. It's going to give you the cost. Now the cost column, the cost column is going to show how much it would cost you. Like those are usually just for products. Like if you're having to purchase products, that would be your cost. And then it's going to give you the net profit, which is going to be the average total minus your cost is going to give you your net. So most of yours, you most likely won't have a cost column in there filled out. It'll be 0 unless you're selling a product. You can calculate how much it's costing you out of your pocket there. So this gives you a great idea of which procedure codes are using the most and which ones are using the least. You can see here that I'm using Office Visit 99213 is the most procedure code that I've used. And then on the next page, it continues and it gives me all of my payment codes as well. So I can see a grand total of how many times I've used my insurance payment codes, my adjustment codes. And then the last page is going to give you the grand totals of all of your charges. And it's going to break it down by charge type. So you can see total procedure charges here, the different charge types, and it gives me a grand total for all of the charges. And then you have all of your payment types, grand total for all of your payments. And this is going to calculate for that date range that you plug in. So if you do plug a date range in, it'll show you here at the top underneath the name of the report, just to remind you what date range you plugged in there. And then it also gives you your total adjustments and breaks down all the different types of adjustments. And then your total net at the bottom here. So it's going to take all of the charges minus your payments, minus your adjustments, and give you your grand accounts receivable total at the end, so your balance for the end of the year. Also, it's going to give you the number of the amount of takebacks. And then at the very, very bottom, this is why I like this one where it gives me practice totals. So that's why I run the one that says practice analysis with practice totals. This is going to give you a total for everything that's in your Medisoft for all of the years that you've used Medisoft, just so you can kind of gauge how you've been doing, where you're at as a business. It's going to give you total number of procedures used since day one of installing Medisoft, your total charges, your total payments, total adjustments, and your total AR. So mine match, these totals match because I didn't put a date range in my report, but your totals will be different because, of course, you're going to use your date range for the year. I just don't have a lot of data to do that for mine. The next one's going to be the primary insurance aging. And of course, a lot of you are using the insurance aging. You can also get the same information from the AR tracker for those of you who have a newer version of Medisoft that have the AR tracker. That one is really great because it's going to give you a lot more filters using the AR tracker, so you can eliminate a lot of data that you don't need. So go to my favorites and grab that primary insurance aging. And the secondary insurance aging, and this one I'm going to do the summary. So I'm not going to do the detail where it's going to give me all of my list of patients that have outstanding claims. I'm just going to do the summary. And so this is a great one because it's going to list it it's going to give you the grand totals by insurance company. So you can see which insurance companies have the most outstanding, and so you know in the future which ones to work on in the upcoming year. Also for timely filing purposes, so that you can go ahead and get those claims out the door before the end of the year for timely filing purposes. So this one will just, again, breaks it out by insurance company. It's going to give you the grand totals and show you how much of the claims are past due, 0 to 30 days, 31 to 60, 61 to 90, 91 to 120, and 120 and over. And it'll give you the total balance at the very end column here. And it also breaks it down by percentage, so you can see what aging bracket has the most. So in mine, it's 121 and over. It has all of them. So this is a good one just to get a grand total summary without all the patient detail. And of course, those primary aging reports can be pretty lengthy when you include all of the list of claims. It's a good one for end of year. There's also the same thing for secondary. I'm not going to pull that one up because it's going to look exactly the same. It's just for secondary claims, and it's the same thing here. The next one is going to be, so we did primary insurance aging summary. The next one's going to be insurance visit list. So let me pull that one up. Insurance, I don't think I have that one on my favorites yet. I'm going to search for that here. So this is a good one to show, where did it go? There it is. So this one, again, you're going to put your date range in here from January 1st through the end of the year. And this is going to give you the total number of visits per insurance payer. So this one's really great because then you can see, which insurance company has the most visits, what insurance company is more popular for your office or for your area. So of course, you want to focus on that insurance carrier as far as getting the correct fee schedule built in there, and make sure you keep up with the claims for that particular insurance if you have most of your visits from that insurance. And it does give you the total amount billed, total amount collected, and billed per visit. So you can see the average here. That's a really great one for your end of year to see, compare your different insurance companies. All right, the next one's going to be your insurance pay analysis. So this is also a really great one to show which insurance companies are paying the most and paying the least. So that one should be in my favorites here. And again, you would use your date range in here for the year. I'm just going to leave mine empty. All right, so the insurance pay analysis. So in the top left corner, it starts out in order by your procedure code. And then it's going to break it down by insurance company. So for this procedure code, it's only been billed out to these 3 different insurance companies, Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Cigna. And then it's going to show you the number of times it was billed to each insurance company, the amount or the cost for each of the services for each of these insurance companies. So mine was $100, and it gives you the grand total for each insurance company that was billed out. And it's going to give you the average allowed amount, and it's going to give me the payment. So I can see what I've collected from each insurance company for this particular procedure code. And then it's going to give me the average payment, which is great. So I can see here that Blue Cross Blue Shield is paying me more than Cigna and Aetna. And then it also gives you the days to pay. So what this is showing you is the average days that it's taking for these insurance companies to pay. So it looks like Blue Cross Blue Shield took the longest, but they paid me the most. And vice versa for Aetna. They paid me the least, but they were quicker to pay. So that information is definitely useful in your office when it comes to billing. And let's see. Yeah, so there's no grand totals on this one. It's just broken down by each different procedure code and insurance company. That's great to see the average pay there. All right. The next one is going to be the flash report. When I do trainings, sometimes I'm surprised that some people aren't aware that the flash reports are in Medisoft. These are actually some of my favorite reports. So I'm going to show you those flash reports. And again, these are in my favorites. So I'm going to go over here and show you all of the flash reports. You can access those if you just type in flash. It'll give you a list of all of the available flash reports. The one at the top that just says flash report, this lets you put your own date range in there. So you can kind of customize that one. All of these others are preset date ranges. They're already made. So month to date is going to pull whatever current month we're in right now and show you your data for the current month. And also month-to-date provider, same thing. Prior month, it'll show you whatever current month is the prior month before that. So it'll populate for November. So these ones are preset date ranges in here. So I'm going to show you this one first, where you can do your own date range. So you have your date range column here. I'm going to leave mine empty again, just because I don't have a lot of data in here. I could show a really good example. So this one's going to break it down by month, and of course it shows by year. There's some in here from March 2007, but let me just go to the next page and show you a better, more current example. I don't have that many for 2020, but here for 2020, it's going to list only the days where you had activity in your Medisoft. So if there were any charges, any payments, or any adjustments on that day, it's going to list that date. So the days that are not listed here under July of 2020, those are days where there was no activity in Medisoft. And then, so for each date it gives you in Medisoft, it's going to give you total number of patient visits as well. So it allows you to see how many patients were seen during each given day, and this is based off the date of services that were entered in your Medisoft. So it's going to calculate for that date, the date of service, and the charges for that total date. Insurance payments that were posted and applied on that date. And it's going to show you patient payments applied on that date, adjustments, any withhold, and then your total net at the end. So you can see from day to day what your ending balance was for that day as far as the activity done on that day for any given day. And then it gives you the grand total for the month. So you can see July ended fairly well. I ended with a $1,700 credit at the end of July. And then September, I did not. It was just the opposite. I have a balance of $1,460. Also, I really like the flash reports because it gives you the total number of new patients for that date range. So it's saying for 2020, I had a total of 33 new patients. And then it gives you these pie charts for your trend. So you can see here that my peak here, it looks like was in 2019. I had the most charges keyed in 2019. And then the bottom for my payment trend, my peak for my payments were in 2020, July of 2020. So it's nice to see here when, especially this year with everything going on with COVID, you can see how you did during those months when it went up and down on your chart here. So this is the flash report. And again, this is the one that I put for no date range. And then this one's really good because you have, what I recommend is using these two. I would use this one to run today's date this year, or actually there's this one that says year to date. So I would run the year to date and then run prior year so you can compare and see how you did this year compared to last year. So here's my prior year. And so it's breaking down everything for 2019, all of the months and all the activity for 2019. And then again, I have my charges trends, my little charts down here at the bottom to give me a visual of how I did. So there's a couple of months there where I really peaked with my payments. And this one's great also if you do the year to date. It does give you the year total. So you can see total number of patient visits, my total charges, insurance payments, patient payments, adjustments, withhold, and then my net at the end of the year. So I can see how I ended in 2019. And then, of course, we would run that one and compare it to year to date. And so here's my year to date for 2020 so far. And so you can see at the end here, it looks like I'm pretty close to what I ended with in as far as my AR in 2019. However, I only seen 10 patients in 2020. That's not very good. So those two are great to compare so you can see how you did this year versus last year. So those are the flash reports. Highly recommend those. The next one I want to show you is the provider financial report. So this one here. And that should be in my favorite. And again, use your date range for this year. All right. Actually, I'm going to go back and do that because I don't want it to show all years. So this one I'm going to use 01/01/2020 through today. And you can run this separately for each of your providers as well. So you have the field here for attending provider. If you click the little three dots, it'll give you your list of provider codes to pick from. If you'd like to run it separately, you can for each provider. Providers really like that report as well. So the provider financial report, this is going to give you all the monthly totals and yearly totals for each provider, and then a grand total for all of them added up on the last page if you do them all together. And of course, if you run it separate, it's only going to give you the grand totals for that one provider. So it's going to show you for the year. I did it for this year. So for 2020, it's going to break it down by month and then give the grand totals for year. And so it gives all of the charges, the insurance write-off, your net, insurance payments, your withhold, your patient payments, your adjustments, and then the net AR at the very end for that one provider's total. If we go down to, let me see if I have one that has a little bit more detail. Okay, so Robert Lee, he has a little bit more detail you can look at here. So for 2020, he started in June, worked through October. He's seasonal. And here are the grand totals for him for 2020 across the board. And then at the very bottom, it's going to give me the grand totals as well for the provider for all years. And then your summary here. So this summary is for all of my providers added up. The total charges, I only had 5,000 for this year. The total adjustments, payments, withholds, and my net at the very end. And you can see that this net matched my flash report that I did year to date as well. So the totals are matching up for my AR. That's a really great one. A lot of providers really like this one. The next one I'm going to show you is the collection statistics summary. So that one, let's go to my favorite. So this one I'm going to do, and this one you can do prior year and year to date. So you have two options for that collection. I'm going to do year to date. And so this one, because I don't have good data in here, it's showing me my existing patients, and it looks like again this year I didn't have any new patients for this year for 2020. So my existing patients, total amount of charges, total collections, my percent of collections, and my average collection per patient. That's showing here, collecting $186 per patient on average. And then I'm going to do the prior year, which is right above it here. So this is good to compare from last year to this year. Again, how many new patients I've seen for 2019 versus existing patients. So I can see how the office improved or how it was affected by COVID this year. So total charges for new patients last year versus existing patients that I've seen that came in last year. Total collection percentage and my average collection per patient. I collected more per patient on existing patients than I did for new. That's a great one to compare from year to year as well, see where you're at. The next one is going to be the comparison report. So second to last here. So that one, let's go back to Medisoft. So the comparison report is going to show you your grand total charges, payments, adjustments, and patient seen as well. So this just gives a different look. Now this one I like as well because you can compare all in one report certain date ranges. So in this first date range here, or the second date range, I'm going to put 01/01/2019 through 12/31/2019. And then in this next tab, you're going to click on the next tab for first range, and then this is where I can put 01/01/2020 through today's date, since we're not at the end of 2020 yet. Now this one, the date is a little bit squishy up here at the top, but it gives me the total, so I can see for 2020, this is what I've got so far for total charges, total payments, total adjustments, and total patients. And then here for 2019, it gives me my grand totals as well. So this is new and existing patients, new and existing patients. So total seen based off of dates of service. That's my comparison report. That's great just for giving an overall summary from last year to this year. Very simple and easy to read and easy to understand. And then the last report, as far as the yearly reports go, are going to be the monthly AR days. And so this one is going to show you, it's going to give you the average aging days per month. So per month and per year. Grand totals at the bottom there. So this one again, I'm going to go back to my favorites and monthly AR days. And again, you can put your date range in here. I'm going to leave mine empty just because I don't know which year I have the most in. Just to show you a breakdown here. Looks like I do have quite a few in 19. Hold on, let me run this again for 2019. That way it doesn't look so busy. Well, I can do 2020. Okay, so here's a good small sample. So it's going to break it down by month. And then at the bottom, you have the yearly totals. And so again, you can see these grand totals match, same thing on the other report. So you can see here that your total charges for each month, total payments by month, adjustments, working days. So these are the number of days where I had charges and payments on. The average daily income. Working days, number of days the provider had charges. And then the average daily income is the total income divided by the number of working days. That would be the average for that month. And then we have the AR days. It's going to show the total AR divided by the average daily income. So this is a great one to see how you're doing month to month as well, and how long it's taking, number of working days versus your ending balance.
Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know if you have future video suggestions. And as always, call us with any of your Medisoft needs. We'll be happy to help.